Hello everyone. Welcome to the Out of the Box session. We are starting one more episode today. So before we start anything here, let me quickly say hello to our hosts here. So hello, Chila. How are you?
Hello, Hugo, and hello, everyone. Thiago, Igor, and all the others who are joining us today. I'm fine, thank you. I'm happy to
Great.
be here and learning about a new topic today.
Perfect. Great. Yeah, we're gonna be exploring new things today. Just let me say hello first to Thiago. Hey, Thiago. So I see that you are in the same place as Chila, and me and Igor. We are no, very far from you guys.
Exactly.
Yes, I think the here it's maybe winter, but I think that it's better than in space. It's
Yeah,
hotter
it
than
is.
space.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
that's because you and Tila, you are in Europe, and me and Hugo, we are in Brazil. So we went to the space, and you guys are enjoying the snow. That's kind of it.
Yes, that's the only difference.
But seems
so
that
the only difference. Yep. Sorry, Thiago.
I
What
would
was
say
it?
that seems that yoga it's kind of cold, and for
Yes.
you, Igor, it's hot. In the
Yeah,
same
Yeah,
place.
we have
Igor
adjust.
just turned on the air conditioner here, so I'm a bit
Okay.
cold here, but Igor prefers to be in 23 degrees maybe.
Okay.
So, but yeah, let me say hello to Igor. Hey Igor, we are together here, right? You are right on
Exactly.
my
We're
side here.
together.
Yeah.
Nice to see you all, guys. It's always a pleasure to be with you. And today's topic it's very interesting for me because it's about Kotlin. As you have mentioned, we have a very special guest here, an awesome guy. It's kind of interesting Kotlin in my life because back in a time when I was trying to learn a native Android development, this was with Java only, and then they migrated to Kotlin. So I started to think, "Whoa, I need to learn Kotlin," but I didn't went on the Android on the mobile development way. So it will be kind of interesting to see now how us as Java developers can benefit from Kotlin. But this is the topic and the subject for our special guest today.
Perfect. Yeah, great. Great to talk about. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about Kotlin today, and we want to understand better. I see that at least everyone that I know that program with Kotlin, work with Kotlin, they love the language. They have some kind of of it is not passion. They like the language. It seems to be a very efficient one or easy to use. And I'm, as you Igor mentioned it, I also was curious in the very beginning. It was to understand to program on Android on a mobile platform, and but it expanded a lot, right? Since these last years, I think community went huge, and also the places that we use Kotlin expanded not only for mobile. So to
Yeah,
help
and
us,
talking about community, our guest is the guy that created the
perfect.
Kotlin community in Brazil.
Exactly. So to help us with this, the whole story and how it is the Kotlin usage around the world, I would like to call our good friend here. He is a community leader. He is actually the organizer and creator of Kotlin Dev Brazil community, and also a specialist on the language. Lucas Fujisawa. Hey, Lucas. How are you, man?
Hey Hugo, hey guys, Igor, Thiago, Chila. I'm doing great. It's also great to be here with you today. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great. cool to have you here, Lucas. I really, oh, I think I'm messing up with the uh, with the windows here. So let me adjust here first. Okay, perfect. So yeah, let me put you here on the main place here. And thanks for being here and accepting our invite. It's really good to have someone that can actually talk a bit about the topic that we are discussing today, so Kotlin, and yeah, contribute with help our audience to be to have more information or to have their questions answered. And yeah, let's just before going forward, let me just say to the audience, if you are watching us, hearing us, I see Andres Alcaz here. Just say hello, hello, Andres. Good to see.
Andres.
Yeah, yeah. And he already mentioned it here. We are already benefiting from the features Java is bringing from Kotlin and other language. Perfect. And I
Absolutely.
think that's a great thing to start discussing here as well. But yeah, before we get anything further, let me just do uh, quick questions, maybe to warm up, right? So, Lucas, can you
Sure.
tell a little bit more about who are you and what do you have with Kotlin? What do you do with Kotlin nowadays?
Yeah, sure. Well, as you mentioned, my name is Lucas. I'm based in Brazil, and I currently work for a company called ClassPass. Don't know if you guys know it. It's US based, and I work there as a backend software engineer. And well, we in the backend we basically use Kotlin there. We have some other tech stacks, but almost everything is being migrated to Kotlin. So that's my current work right now. I've been really loving that. And out of the code world, well, I like some music, playing the piano and listening to music
Oh,
and
cool.
hanging out with friends. And of course, why not? Uh, tech stuff.
Yeah, text,
Te-
tech stuff.
tech.
Tech stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, tech
any tech stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey
Oh,
Lucas,
Well, that
just for curiosity, you're guys migrating from Java to Kotlin?
we have few Java actually. We have some Python, but very few Python. Because actually the newer services already started in Kotlin. So well, that's it. Anything new is Kotlin. Anything not Kotlin is, we could say, legacy.
So
oh,
you guys are migrating from Python to Kotlin.
Yeah, and a little bit of Java too. Actually,
Okay.
the most effort on the migrations initiative are from Python
Mm.
to Kotlin.
And what motivated this migration? Since we have already talked in some of the previous session here, where we were comparing Java to Python, that Python has a lot of benefits. But what does Kotlin offers beyond Python to motivate this migration?
let's so before answering Igor, maybe
Yeah.
it's good to also tell a little bit more what is Kotlin, and we can go through this trade-off because I think it's really important. And it's really good to see this migration work because we can actually assess a lot do a lot of trade-off, right? So I think it's really interesting this Igor's question, but I think maybe some people are not so familiar with Kotlin. So if you can tell a little bit about what is Kotlin, how from where it came out from, I think it will be interesting. Sorry, Igor, but we're gonna be answering this in a few.
Oh, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting.
Yeah, I'm also
Sure.
curious.
Sure, no problem. So for a quick context on Kotlin, well, Kotlin is a programming language. It's a general purpose programming language. Starting from the tech details, it's a strongly typed and statically typed programming language, and it's aimed on safety, code safety, and code conciseness and expressivity. Um, well, and as I mentioned, it's a general purpose language, and we can use it for backend development, running both on the JVM or compiled to native code. We can also use it compiled to JavaScript and to WebAssembly. And well, so the applications are many actually. We can use Kotlin for front end development as it compiles web development on the client side as it compiles to JavaScript. Well, and one of the main use case of Kotlin is probably Android. On I think 2017, Google announced first class support for Kotlin as the main uh, not I don't remember if as the main programming language, but
Yeah.
first class support I think as the main programming language since 2019, but I'm not sure. So well, that's it. It's aimed for simplicity and safety, and to fulfill developer needs, and also to fulfill some maybe some not some challenge but some limitations of other programming languages.
Well, that so.
Does it make sense?
Yes, sure. And well, we are mentioning here that we, at least first time I heard about Kotlin, it was when Google made the choice for the language choice for Android, right? They migrated from Java to Kotlin. I think it's because some licensing stuff reasons, right? But it evolved a lot. As you said, it sounds like a multi-platform you can use anywhere and in a different compiles in a different languages. I didn't know
Hmm.
that compiles to JavaScript or WebAssembly. So I don't know if there's a lot of people using it in that way as well. But then, uh, can you tell a bit about the this? It was developed from IntelliJ, right? And still maintained by IntelliJ, or no? It's open from the community maintenance. The
Yeah,
language
but yeah, it was created by JetBrains. That is
JetBrains.
the
Sorry.
yeah. Yeah, that's the same vendor who
Mhm.
makes IntelliJ and the other IDEs. Kotlin is open source. I'm not sure if it was born open source. Maybe yes, but now it's open source. But it has a very strong support from JetBrains too. But it's a an open source initiative right now. And JetBrains created that language exactly for those aspects I was mentioning. If you get to know a Kotlin a little bit deeper, you can notice some maybe it gets influence from languages like well, Java, of course, but C Sharp and Python and Scala and many others. And as JetBrains has a lot of knowledge on not only on the programming language themselves, but on the developer needs,
Mhm.
because it has all that IDEs that allows JetBrains to know what developers want. Uh, then that's the main motivation for the creation of Kotlin. Oh,
Cool.
one interesting fact about Kotlin is that it had a very cool opportunity that many other languages hadn't had. That is to be designed and to get more mature during more than 5 years before its first final release 1.0. So it could learn and evolve a lot before being firstly released.
Oh, so but now it is on which version it is now? It is
We, we are now on 2.0. Yeah.
2.0. Oh, cool. I
And
didn't
that's
know
an
that.
interesting point you mentioned, Lucas. If they get all that info that they have about the developers' needs and put it all together to make something interesting for developers, it can be really interesting to play around, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's really cool, and that leads to a really concise language, expressive language. That's very cool to read and to write, and we easily notice it helps a lot on maintainability. And usually, developers really like coding in Kotlin. Usually, the levels of satisfaction are usually high.
That's good.
And because you mentioned the version, the roadmap, how it works with Java. It also have LTS versions and LTS version every each 2 years. How it works? Do you know?
No, we actually have we. Well, I'm feeling home when talking about Kotlin, not
Yeah,
we,
no problem.
but the community and
Kotlin
developers.
developer. As a Kotlin developer, we
Yeah,
It's your language.
yeah,
You
your
can personate
community,
it.
man.
My
yeah,
language.
You
yeah.
can be
It's
owner.
home.
You can feel ownership.
Yeah, it feels like home. Um,
That's cool.
there are no LTS or intermediate versions. We have kind of 1.4 and 1.5 and 1.6. I'm not sure how long-term supporting works, but well, one very interesting fact about Kotlin is that JetBrains and the community supply a lot of very powerful tooling for Kotlin. So it's really easy to upgrade. So, well, at least at the most recent versions, not on the first versions, but now it's very easy to upgrade. So that's one difference from what usually happens in the Java world, right? I know today it's easier than before, but upgrading Kotlin is really easy. For example, in one of my latest work in my current job was to upgrade a microservice to Kotlin 2, and well, I it took maybe 2 hours of total work, so it's really easy. What I mean here, going back to answer what you asked, Thiago. Uh, no, the process is not the same. We don't have specific LTS versions, but the upgrade is very encouraged, and it's easy to do. So people are usually on later versions.
Curiosity. Before Kotlin, what language have you used, Lucas, or have you started with Kotlin? Your professional experience, maybe.
No, I started with professionally with Java.
Yeah.
That is on
Mhm.
my heart too. I started with Java in 2000. I started learning Java in 2004, and then started using it professionally in 2007. And I love it, Java, and I love Java. And I started learning and working with Kotlin on 2021, actually.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
So you have lot of experience then in the both sides, and that was something I think Thiago mentioned it about this interchangeable feature, right? You can use Java
Mm.
libraries inside Kotlin project,
Hmm.
Mm.
and this sounds really powerful. So one of the biggest challenge from moving from one language to another, but for me at least, is uh, it's not the language itself, but the ecosystem that can
Uh-huh.
that supports that language. I think that's far heavier than, than any other aspect
Yeah.
of the programming language. But it is really work in a transparent way. It is just import. I don't know what is the package manager for Kotlin. It is the same Maven or Gradle that you use. What do you use?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's a really nice question. One of the goals JetBrains aimed when developing Kotlin is to allow for Java interoperability. So the whole language was designed from the ground up, having that in mind. So the Kot so Kotlin interoperability with Java is really nice. Nice. It's really easy. It's really straightforward. You just import a Java library or class as you import a Kotlin class and just use it. The opposite's not is totally feasible and it's not hard, but it's a little bit more tricky than using Java code from the Kotlin code. Using Kotlin code from Java requires a little bit of knowledge on how to make your Kotlin code compatible with Java. In trying to summarize it a little bit, Kotlin has a superset of features if compared to Java. We have more features in Kotlin than we have in Java. So when we convert our Kotlin code to the bytecode, in order for you to consume that Kotlin generated code from Java, you have to understand a bit of how the JVM or actually about how the bytecode works and about how Kotlin code is compiled to the bytecode. But it's
Mhm.
not difficult at all. Okay, it's less straightforward than consuming Java from Kotlin. And about tooling for package and dependency management, we use usually preferably Gradle, but
Mhm.
it's fully compatible with Maven too. And well, we can do a lot of cool stuff with oh, just forgot the name of the other two, but it's not that relevant. And now JetBrains is developing another one. I think
Oh,
it has
really?
released the final version of its own package and dependency manager, and is
Mm.
fully compatible and integrated with Gradle. So
Mm.
that's what we usually use
Yeah, I
using
remember that
Gradle and Maven. Sorry.
Yeah.
in Android applications back then it was full Gradle with Kotlin, as far as I remember.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
and
Gradle is
it's,
almost another language to learn.
Well,
yeah, yeah, it's
It's a
kind of
pain
different.
sometimes.
It's kind
well,
of
just a
different.
quick poll here. Who use Gradle here nowadays?
Sorry?
I can,
Who here uses Gradle? Just a quick poll here.
I
You you
continue
Yeah.
probably
with
use
Maven.
Gradle, right, Lucas? Yeah,
Yeah, I use Gradle. I use
Gradle.
Gradle.
Everyone here Maven on the host
Maven
side?
only here.
Maven,
Oh yeah,
Maven,
I
Maven.
also mean
Is
I thought that I was the only one using Maven, but yeah,
yeah,
because I
I
feel like
used
Gradle is
Gradle.
another a whole another language to learn. So,
I
I prefer
used
to stay
Gradle
on
when I
Maven.
was developing for Android
Uh-huh.
because it was kind of
Oh
mandatory
yeah.
even back then when it was Java with Android. But I never used that after that. Only only Maven.
Yep.
Most of the companies use Maven.
Cool, cool. So if
Yeah.
you're watching us, yeah, please share with us what package manager do you use nowadays? Do you use Maven or Gradle, and why? Uh, Pedro uses poetry because he's
Yeah,
now a
yeah.
Python developer.
He's a poet.
So,
or,
but yeah, so
or,
sorry. Go ahead.
or in other words, tell us if you suffer less or more.
With
just kidding, just kidding.
But yeah, let me say hello, quick hello to Pedro. Good to have you here, Pedro. Good to have you comment here. And I will just give you the voice here. So Pedro asked it here. Is Kotlin better language than Java, even with today's improvement? I don't know if you had chance to use Java 21. I've been using, I have been working with proof of concept and these new projects to work with AI and validating with these Gen AI stuffs. And man, I'm totally in love with Java 21. I think it made things so easier to write and so efficient to write. But I don't know. I think that there are other things, right? That not just syntax sugar that Kotlin brings for Java. So what do you think? It's still better language? Do you think there's something that Java doesn't have and Kotlin adds over it?
It's a tough comparison actually, because well, Java has
Don't be shy because
almost
of the public of the audience here. You can be transparent.
no, no, I mean Java is now almost 30 years old, if I'm not mistaken, maybe something around that. And Kotlin is a newer language that could absorb a lot of development knowledge. And I'm not sure if we're fair when we compare it, when we compare them. But also, we have Java versus Kotlin looking at only at the language's syntax,
Mm,
but we also have the Java versus Kotlin when you look through the whole ecosystem and market and well and community. So my comparison may be a little bit reductionist here, but when it comes to language syntax and language features, in my personal opinion, Kotlin is even if compared to Java 21, awesome new features. It's a Kotlin is too ahead. We have a lot of other things in Kotlin that makes coding so safer and so more concise and expressive. And we have, okay, we probably gonna have that in Java 22 or 3 too, but we have structured concurrence by an awesome implementation of coroutines. And when I say awesome, I refer to its design. It's very, very, very cool. But that, in my opinion, does not make Kotlin necessarily better than Java. Java has an awesome market. It's an awesome language. Java, the JVM itself is on the Java's side,
mhm.
and well, I, I think maybe we can try someday to put some
Both
Java
codes.
21 code,
I said
yeah, and see how,
Yeah,
yeah, so each
I'm
one can
curious.
comparison.
have its personal opinion.
Yeah, I believe
Actually, I
you
was.
kind of
Yeah, go ahead.
answered some of the my previous question why you were migrating from Java and for Kotlin. I don't know if that it applies exactly for the same way for the Python code, or if the company just are so in love with Kotlin that they want to have that as a code base for all of their service.
Igor, to be honest with you, I'm afraid I don't know how to answer that, because yeah, I'm on ClassPass for 3 months now, and I really don't know what motivated them to do that migration. what I know is that the backend engineers really like Kotlin, and we have an engineering team that is that has very strong Kotlin skills. But I don't know what the real motivation to move into Kotlin is. Sorry for that.
No, no problem. And just to finish on the question on migration side, and you mentioned that it took to you around 2 hours to update a service to a newer version of Kotlin. So how it works when you're working with dependencies like Spring, that because I do know you can use Spring with Kotlin, if it has uncompatibility on the versions, you need to upgrade it together when you're upgrading a Kotlin version, or if it works more seamlessly, how it
Hmm.
plays. Because it's very painful with some older Java services when you need to upgrade the versions to have benefits from security patch and newer versions. You have kind of rebuild and even rewrite some code in some migrations. How do you handle that with Kotlin?
Yeah, if well, when we use frameworks like Spring Boot or Quarkus, the migration is kind of more dependent uh, on Spring and Quarkus restrictions because they pair the versions. So we usually have to obey what those frameworks are compatible with. But in this specific service I mentioned, we are actually using Ktor, that is a Kotlin specific framework that is very few opinionated and non intrusive. So it's almost like another library. So in this case, we just start upgrading the Kotlin version. We check the upgrade paths for the main libraries and check if our new Kotlin version is compatible. It's not a very uh, demanding work. In our case, we upgraded Kotlin and had to upgrade a linting library to a newer version, and had to upgrade a little bit of code because Kotlin 2 has a more strict way to deal with nullability, so you had to adjust some code, and that was it. Really
Uh,
simple. Probably if we had Spring Boot, for example, we would probably upgrade Kotlin from the Spring Boot configuration file. I believe. Does it make sense?
Yeah, yeah, total sense. So you guys are using more less intrusive frameworks
Hmm.
to make this migration process more seamlessly. Sounds good. Sounds good. You do have some adjustments, but not as much as you will have if you were using Spring. So I assume that if you were using a Spring, it will take a little bit more of work, the same way we have with Java. Like Pedro mentioned in some of comments here, the suffering is the same, kind of. But Pedro is a Python guy; he will defend Python.
Uh, yeah, and let me see if there's other questions. I see a lot of messages here. Today is a good day to collaborate here with questions. Andres just shared here that where he works, there are Groovy and Kotlin classes mixed with Java through all the code base. Don't I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Yeah,
And they use Kotlin classes from Java and vice versa. If
Yeah,
it works well, fine. And we can use Kotlin in the Gradle syntax.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true. So we have one vote for poetry, one vote for Gradle, and one vote for Maven. So we are quite balanced here on the environment. Uh, and yeah, Gradle because of the Groovy syntax. That's more that give more power on the package manager, right? Yeah. So I think here we have Carlos. Hello, Carlos. I see Leticia also. Hello, Leticia. Good to have you here. If you have any questions regarding Kotlin, this is the time to ask your question because we are with a specialist on the language. And yeah, so we are also asking lots of questions regarding to Kotlin. So Carlos asked here, how can Java developer avoid writing code in Kotlin using the same Java thinking? Do you think that's a really interesting thing? I don't know. It feels like Kotlin does, how can I say, does uh, gives you does follow a functional programming paradigm more than object oriented. At least the syntax looks like. They I don't know if you can actually use it the same way. And yeah, it is how it is. What is the what does the Kotlin developers prefer, and do Java developers need to adapt to that paradigm? It is something different, or it's all the same? Because now we have this arrow function calling with that consumer classes here on Java recently, but yeah, how it is on Kotlin? I'm curious with that as well.
Yeah, it's a really good question. Kotlin actually supports it strongly supports both POO or OOP, right, as we are speaking in English, and functional programming. Um, and we don't have to choose one or the other approach. And in fact, what we usually see is projects using both of them at the same time. Um, about Java developers, how can Java developers avoid writing Kotlin using same Java thinking? Well, and that's a really good question because in my experience, I see Kotlin's true power only shines when we really use its unique features. Because if we just code Kotlin just as if it was Java, it's not a we can have a lot of more benefits if we do program if we do code in a more Kotlin idiomatic way. Well, first we can get to know Kotlin's features because as Kotlin has many um, unique ways to deal with, for example, nullability and error handling and functions and things like that allow us to do things differently and in a more expressive way. So we can try to, uh, well, I have this imperative code. How can I do what can I use? What feature? What a Kotlin features can I use to have a more expressive code? And then you get to know some features like if you have a nullable variable, you don't have to check it with an if it that variable is null. You can use something, for example, that variable exclamation dot and do something with that. So I think we can get to know more about Kotlin's features and how they correlate with Java code. Maybe it's easier to show something live, but I'm not sure. Also, it also helps if you get to know a bit more about functional programming because you can really have some functional chains instead of a very complex imperative code. Well, I feel
Yeah.
what I'm answering here is maybe a little abstract. Maybe it would be easier to show that in action.
I don't have to show in action, but actually, I asked it to ChatGPT to generate something for
Yeah.
example here. Let me
Uh-huh.
just find the sum here. I don't know what happened.
So, Lucas,
Changing my yeah.
you mentioned that you don't have to bother about no pointers, no values, right? So when you call a variable that or an object that it's a no, it does not throw a kind of a no pointer. What it does, it handles with a default value. It does not throw an exception. What happens in that case?
Yeah. Kotlin's type system differs type from a nullable type. So you can have a string or a nullable string, and those are different, although they are the same classes, the same string class, string and nullable string are different types. So when you have nullable types, you have a special syntax for calling its members that use the exclamation, the safe call operate operator. That's the exclamation mark dot, and well, it does an internal check. If that variable is null, then it does not call any member and just returns null. Otherwise, that just like in JavaScript. Don't know if you
C
know
sharp.
JavaScript.
C sharp also uses that.
Oh,
I've
cool.
used that
Yeah,
on C sharp.
yeah, yeah. And you can also have not a not no value in case of
Yeah,
that value is null.
it does not throw any exception. It kind of handles that internally. So that's the same way they did it on C sharp. That's nice. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
But you have to use
No.
that flag, the exclamation flag. I believe they have just using the same flag.
Oh,
Yes, I
yeah.
think many
I
many
said the
languages.
exclamation. That's sorry. Just a quick fix here. It's the question mark, right? Not
Yes,
in
Question
yes.
Kotlin,
mark.
not the exclamation. Yeah.
I don't remember in C sharp if it's exclamation or a question. Sorry. If any of you guys watching is a C sharp developer, just let us know in the comments.
I think it's
If
it's exclamation. I think most of them work as the same way. I think Dart language do also have that. So
yeah,
I think all of them follow the same standards. And Lucas, because you mentioned
Mhm.
that knowing the features of Kotlin, I think it's the most valuable thing, right? Because it has more features. And also, Andres shared here that Java developers can benefit from it because Java can keep evolving with this kind of features that have in other languages. So I want your opinion, maybe the three best features in your opinion.
Oh, only three, maybe three tenths.
The best three in your
Uh,
opinion.
yeah.
The most
Well, the
usable one.
yeah, the no handling, no nose handling, no safety. I think it's very important because it helps us almost totally avoid that no pointer exception hell. That is very hard to usually to debug and to avoid, even with not new annotations and things like that. Yeah, no safety is really cool. The coroutines are awesome. I'm not sure if I have mentioned that before, but coroutines are not Kotlin feature, but Kotlin has a coroutines implementation that allows for structured async programming as we were programming in a sync way. So it's really cool and easy. The third one, I don't know if I mentioned Java interoperability because that helps a lot. Kotlin to be adopted and integrate to Java ecosystem, but maybe I would mention extension functions. This is a very cool feature that allows us to extend classes functionality without needing without needing to change the classes themselves. We add functionality to them, but we don't even need to have access to its source or
Yeah,
things like that.
yeah. This last one, I think it's a good one. Can you give a simple example how it works so everyone can understand?
Yeah, sure. Can I share
You,
my screen, or
yeah,
it's not necessary?
yeah, you can share if
Not
you want.
real.
It's
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe because of time. Well, let me just try to explain it a little bit. Imagine you are writing a library for, or not a library, but some functionalities to validate some fields you have some strings that comes from those fields. If you look at Kotlin's string class, you find a lot of utility methods there. But for example, you won't find an string dot to document number, string dot to my specific format, maybe. And then you can use those extension functions to, for example, creating those functionalities to strings uh, in a context, in a specific context. So you just create your extension functions and you can import them, and you are not changing anything to the string. So any other place that use string does not have any impact.
Okay, great. So with that, I do not need to create a utility class to do these kind of things, right?
Yeah. You don't have to create a utility class, but you can still use those extension functions as if they were methods of those classes. You won't pass the objects to an utility method. You just call your object dot the extension function.
Yes, like native methods from the class, right?
Yeah,
From the
yeah,
original
just
class.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
some cool
amazing.
feature. I also see on C Sharp available and Java doesn't have yet. And I feel really, yeah, useful and clean way to actually code things, right? You can add methods, append methods in some class. That's interesting thing. And I let me just see here the questions here. We have also Leopardo José Francisco said hello, hello, José, channel Finra Kotlin, heart with Kotlin, and yeah, Andres also mentioned about the extension. It's remind me to the C++ operator overloading. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, before we go further here, I just want to grab the moment and share a bit of the syntax, right? I was seeing here on the ChatGPT what it generated. I don't know if it's correct, 100% correct. I hope it is.
Mhm.
But
Oh.
yeah, it looks like really interesting. I've compared it specifically with the shorthand of the Java 21. Let me share here so
Mhm.
we can
Yeah,
Hey,
see.
Hugo,
we have
but
a second host. It's ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Hugo,
Yeah,
just
go ahead,
ju-
Lucas.
yeah, just a very quick parenthesis. Our colleague asked, how can Java developers learn not to use Java-ish code
Yeah.
in Kotlin?
Mhm.
ChatGPT helps a lot with that. you can get
Oh,
your paste your code on ChatGPT and ask, please give me, or without the please, it's up to you. Please give me a more concise, expressive, and more idiomatic Kotlin idiomatic alternative for this code, and it does a really good job, really good
cool.
work.
Yeah, that's I also use a lot of ChatGPT to for the syntax review, and especially when we learn new language. Well, so
Mhm.
it starts with the variable declaration here. Not much difference.
Mhm.
Only for the semicolon things.
Yep.
Uh, but for immutable variable, they're already interesting. They have already a vol keyword, right? So we don't need to declare final. We do vol, and maybe this vol is to value, right? Maybe.
Yep.
For and
Another
yeah, the new safety. Go ahead. What?
Yeah, oh, another thing is that in Java we had variables. In Kotlin, we have properties. What I mean is those Kotlin variables you have there are properties that abstract getters and setters under the hood, and you can override that and change the behavior of the getter and setter for each of the variables of those properties.
Probably something when we do work with these immutable variables, we can use records, and maybe that is something close to this feature, right? It is you don't
Um,
need to use Lombok anymore, and you don't need to stay declaring set and getters. When we use records, it is only the data object itself. Uh, Maybe I hope I'm not wrong.
Uh,
I'm
it,
correct, Thiago, and other
it,
Java developers.
yes, actually, I have one question, Lucas. I don't know if you know how to
Go
answer
ahead.
that. Maybe it's a
sure.
hard one. But
Mhm.
Record is a little bit more performant than a normal class because it's kind of a immutable class, and the JVMs know that. So we have some uh, stuffs in the JVM, so it's a little bit performance than a class. And I want to know if Kotlin have something like that. So it knows that the class is kind of immutable, and it in the byte class it becomes a record or something like that. Or do you know?
Yeah, we have the Kotlin value classes. You can take a look at it if you want. It's proposes for optimization uh, during compile time, and well, and also we if you run Kotlin code on the JVM, you can benefit from the just-in-time optimization. Does it make sense?
They have the same thing as records here, Thiago. That this is the
Looks the same.
value class, right? The data class.
Yes,
And
yes.
Yeah, in terms of functionality, that's really the same. But in terms of overlying bytecode structure, I'm not sure. So I think Thiago's question makes a lot of sense, actually.
mhm. Yeah,
But yeah, it
that's
seems
harder.
it's possible. Yeah, but it seems
Yeah, go
that
ahead.
it's possible because they have something that it's very similar to the record, so they can have this kind of benefit, I
Yeah,
think.
I believe it is. Yeah, under the hood, probably
Uh,
Yeah.
they use the same
and
thing. Into
and I have
J.
another thing that I like this feature that it's the named parameter, right?
Oh
Mm,
yeah.
And
it's
can
great.
I pass a default value for it?
Yeah, you can have named parameters and pass values to named parameters, and they can have default values. So if you don't pass anything at all, it just use the
That's
default value. So we usually don't have the need for the builder pattern in Kotlin.
Amazing. You're trying to convince me to go to the Kotlin.
That's
They
cool.
have
Yeah,
solved a lot on this language. As Lucas mentioned, they got all the troubleshoots, all the problems from many languages, from
yeah,
many
yeah,
developers, put it all
Yeah,
together. Here's the solution for it all. So
yeah,
yeah.
it
What
looks very promising.
I
yeah.
think.
Jo-
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I will say that
Just, sorry,
Tavares
sorry. Go ahead.
Josh Tavares mentioned one thing in the chat that yes, with Java we can use optional. It works, and we should
Hmm.
use optional instead of returning null in a method, for example. However, probably in Java it's much more verbose than Kotlin because in Kotlin it's just
A
a question
lot.
mark, right?
Yeah,
If you optional, you need to
It is
use
here.
dot map and things like that, or if present. So yes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
would need to put
but
optional on everywhere. So it
yeah,
not
doesn't
and
work.
it's
everywhere if you return null, right? But yes,
yeah, and it's very important to remember too that although if you return an optional, you can ensure the object inside the optional will not be null, but you cannot ensure your method returns null instead of an optional. So
oh
we
yeah,
don't have
that's
the
true.
whole thing there.
That's tricky. Yeah. It would be really tricky if
Yeah.
someone returns new instead
It-
of optional.
if your
Yeah.
Yeah.
method have the signature to return an option and you return a null, don't do that,
Okay.
please.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't do
Don't
that,
do that.
please.
Would be really fun someone to be understand what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. One thing about those difference that is important mentioning is that we don't have many things in Kotlin that are not feasible in other languages. What we have in Kotlin is many problems solved in language syntax
And
level
language
instead
feature,
of
yeah.
instead of class model level or things
Yeah.
like that.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's the that's beautiful. It is already building, right? The feature
Yeah.
is building the language.
Yes.
And yeah, it's like we are seeing here the new safety. We have to check the new here. We can use optional as well, but yeah, optional. We have to do this check anyway, and this is a much cleaner way to write. And I see a lot of other languages that already implement this
Hmm.
safety feature. Also, string interpolation. Yeah, I think the example here maybe okay.
Yeah.
They use system out for enough. Okay, yeah, but it is building here as well, right? The name you can reference the variable inside the string instead of using this format syntax. That was
Hmm.
interesting. Data classes we already seen with the comparing with the records. It's quite the same. I see not much changes here. I don't know how do you actually define some method inside this class. It's you have to open the
The brackets, the
scope here, yeah, the brackets here, and
yeah,
write inside, right? It's the same thing. Okay.
yeah, yeah. It's the same thing.
Collections and streams. Okay, quite yeah. Map. It's much better to have built-in map here instead of stream, and then have to use the map. And this collectors to variables as well. I
Yeah.
understand people that complain regarding to that are quite odd
To be
here.
fair,
Yeah.
There's
Okay,
something that Java developers always mention that they like this verbosity. So
Oh
Java
yeah.
developers are natural readers. We need to read a lot, and
But
maybe
that's also yeah.
yeah, more
Go
or
ahead.
less, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't
go.
like this dot stream in this case. I think if you have all dot map, it's enough. But I have a question,
Mhm.
Lucas, about this dot collectors dot to list. In Java now we can use dot to list, and it
uh huh.
returns
Mhm.
an immutable list. So And we can also have dot to set or thing like that. How
Mm-hmm.
about Kotlin? We
Uh,
the default it's an array list or something like that. How it works, or the default? Uh, yeah, what is the default collection? Do you know how it works? If you can choose another collection like a set or a immutable list.
Yeah, for example, you have squares in the Kotlin code that takes an immutable list numbers and maps it to the squares, so it returns another immutable list. And if you want it as a set, you just call toSet at the end.
Okay, so by default it's an immutable list.
By default, it's the same type as the context object. In this case,
Right.
if I'm not mistaken, right?
Okay.
I gotta double check that, but it, in this case, we have another immutable list, just
Mutual,
as the
yes.
numbers.
Okay. Okay. Amazing.
Cool. Yeah, much shorthand than what I have with streams. Default named arguments. Yeah, that's what Java just asked.
Uh-huh.
Java doesn't support default name and named arguments, and we have it on the on Kotlin already out of the box. That's great.
Sounds nice.
Yeah. Okay, lambda expressions. Not much changes here. I don't see much difference. We can also use var here. Doesn't need to be explicit on the list interface.
Hmm.
Extension functions. That is what we mentioned. It is to append functions to object, right? The string, we can create a hello method, and then we can use it for any strings, and they automatically get this static function uh, already on it. And I see a lot of advantage on this feature. Oh, at least it is a much cleaner
Yeah,
than calling out. And we choose
uh,
dot hello and pass the string.
yeah,
Right?
but actually, if you want to take a look at any opportunity, not sure if it's gonna
Go
fit
ahead. Mhm.
our time now. You can use kind of advanced features from of the extension functions to design really cool DSLs.
Hmm.
Maybe if you want to type in there in chat GPT later, give me an a DSL example. Oh, and that's really cool. It's almost, you can almost create new language uh, as a library. Yeah, great. Actually, those are
Well,
not extension functions, but
GPO, yeah, only.
Oh my. He's writing an
um,
HTML.
um,
yeah,
That's it. Where tag body. I don't know if
maybe.
I could understand it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's doing on the first lines. Just take a look at the usage of the DSL, probably in the main function or anything like that. Hey, it did not give an usage. Yeah, yeah, there.
Hmm.
So you are here. Just let me interpret this code. I'm creating an HTML. This is a class that I created here on this class.
Yeah, this is a function actually,
This is a function.
and
So I'm
yeah,
calling a function here,
yeah,
and
those are all higher order functions. Almost all of them. It's
so
a more
because
advanced
this is
feature.
a yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was asking because I was I couldn't understand what's going on here. Just seeing
Yeah.
this, and that's the problem when we do create too much syntax sugar, right? I don't know what is it. It is we are instantiating a new class. We are calling a function. What's happening
Yeah,
on?
You need the verbosity of Java to explain you what he's doing.
Exactly, exactly.
You need more
But that's,
text.
yeah.
That's why Java is
Actually,
verbose.
there are a lot of things happening under the hood. In order to fully understand what is happening there, we would need to take a look at a lot of Kotlin concepts first. But
okay.
what we are doing there is passing functions to functions, and those functions to other functions.
Mhm.
Uh, HTML is a function, and head is a function, and title is another function. And we can, on the example, we are using just strings inside the tags, but we can just put in normal code also. And so it's a really powerful feature for creating the DSLs, domain
Uh,
specific languages. So you, for example, you can have a DSL for testing, so you can have a more
mm,
declarative testing instead of uh,
imperative one that you have to say.
yeah,
Yeah, you can
yeah,
build.
yeah.
You can just compose things to create your test.
Yes, for example, that's an usage.
Mhm.
You can use that, for example, to create a library that's easy to compose configuration files, for example, or easy to compose graphics. You could have a canvas and figures and squares and circles and things like that, and it just does not does not seems like Kotlin. It just looks like
Mhm.
the
No,
language you just
completely
created.
different. Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, I do believe that it's powerful, but I think I agree with someone that mentioned about overusing, because I feel the same when I compare with Python, and they have a lot of this list comprehension. There's a lot of operation in the list that you can do, but it's easy to get lost if you are not familiar with the syntax and with the. But I don't know if I'm just familiar with Java and I'm saying that, and anyone that gets in Java, they are completely lost with the syntax as well.
No, no, it
But
makes
that's cool.
total
Really cool.
sense. No, but that makes total sense. If we overuse it, we can create a mess, and that's the same for extension functions, and that's probably the same for operator overloading and things like that.
Mhm.
You have to know when to use, and especially when not to use.
And yes, so yeah, I was really enjoying here to explore all the syntax here. But I think we are already in the last one, that is the coroutines versus virtual threads. Oh, that's interesting. In
Mhm.
Java, we do this to use virtual threads, Project Loom, and in Kotlin, new virtual thread per task executor. Right? I never used it yet. Oh wow, that's much more easier. So it's really very good. Yeah,
Uh,
it's interesting. This run blocking. Okay, run blocking is a function that do all of this for us, right? And uh, I don't know, do
yeah,
something. It doesn't
and
compare very
and
well. Okay,
and
go ahead.
and also, Hugo, the virtual threads does not deliver us structured concurrency, right? Today, it just delivers lightweight threads, green threads. Let's say going structured with that is well, a lot of more features that may come in the next versions of Java, if I'm not mistaken.
Cool. Yeah, I actually, I'm not sure. I know that is the idea behind the virtual thread. It is to give you lightweight threads that you can share, virtual threads that you can share a same thread with, and instantiate
Yeah,
a lot of virtual threads inside it, and share
yeah,
your source with other threads.
yeah, and treat that and treat them in a structured way and have control over them in a structured way, and it's really
Mm,
a game changer.
cool. George also mentioned here uh, the coroutine model in Kotlin. There are other advantages like pinning IO thread, graphic user interface threads, and so on. Probably we're gonna need one more session about Kotlin and exploring this advanced feature, and maybe you can also help me with the DSL going into details. And yeah, let me just put you here. But I love it. Oh, I have to stop talking, right?
I'm behind the comment. No, no.
Yeah. Now I get it. Um, so yeah, thanks, Igor. uh, so, but we are already on our time here, and I really enjoy this exploring these language differences. There are lots of things that is really cool. There's something that I felt a bit lost here, but I think that is the beauty of the knowing different languages. We always have these different features, and it's
Yeah.
always for me always enhance my knowledge, understanding of something that is cool or not. And one thing that I really get for me that you mentioned it is that uh, JetBrains, they have a lot of this knowledge in developer experience. So a language developed by JetBrains, for sure it will be some. They have a lot of feedback about cool features that will help developers uh, do their job in the efficient way, or in a quickest and efficient way. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense when I see a lot of syntax here that is really impressive. The expressiveness and and how shorthand syntax sugars you have already built in on the language. So really cool language Kotlin it is. I really appreciate you, Lucas, for being here. Let me just ask if anyone here, any of the hosts here, I talked a lot today. Sorry, everyone, I talked a lot today. But let me give you the voice. So if you want to ask something in the last, Chila, Thiago, Igor, go ahead.
Just wants to thank you, Lucas. It was awesome. I really enjoyed that too. I do see Kotlin as a very powerful tool as well, the same way we see the difference between languages. And it's really nice to get to understand, to know this difference. And thanks a lot for being our guests today and presenting this powerful language that you're playing all the time. Congratulations as well with the Kotlin community here in Brazil, and keep going.
Oh, thank you so much, guys, for having me here. It's really a pleasure to be here. And anytime you want me back, just let me know. And if any of you guys, the, our hosts or the audience need any kind of help on Kotlin, on anything else I could help, just feel totally free to reach out to me, and it's going to be a pleasure to talk to you. We, as our friends mentioned, we also have the Kotlin Devs Brazil community, for who is interested in this language. We are soon starting a series of presentations in the format of interactive classes for beginners. So if you're starting, maybe it's a good opportunity too. And well, that's it. Thank you so much again for having me here.
So, Lucas, do you
Yeah,
have the link for your community that I can share here for everyone?
yeah, it's Kotlin BR dot dev.
Oh,
Thanks
kotlin.br.dev.
for sharing, Hugo. Oh, and I also have my site with some blog posts and a mailing list and an ebook for who is interested on how to simplify or even eliminate the need of design patterns of traditional design patterns when using Kotlin. It's my surname.com, fujisawa.com.
Fujisawa.com. Let me just place things here. Oh, it's
Oh,
did,
I see
did
the
you
chat
bought
now.
this domain for you? It is
The,
really cool.
the
Kotlinbr.dev.
yeah, it was
Yours?
actually it was Bruno's suggestion.
Oh, that's cool, man. Congrats that you find this domain. It's really easy to find out. Let me see if I can find your Lucas Fujisawa. Fujisawa.
So
Dot.
Fujisawa.
Just
Fujisawa.
Fujisawa.
Yeah, both exist
Fujisawa.
and
Dot,
both work, but
it is Fujisawa.com.
.com. Let me
Oh,
share
cool.
it. Can share it? I think. Oh, you shared
Yeah.
it. Thank you.
Let
Yeah.
me quickly share here the screen again, and I can uh, do this one. Okay, so here we are. This is fujisawa.com, the blog from Lucas. And if you like the language, please hit a like here and visit the page. And if you want to join the community, kotlinbr.dev, it is the page for the Brazilian Kotlin community, right?
Yeah.
And in the last, I just want to share regarding to the sorry. We are already running. It is at 7, so they already started. So I don't know if you are able to. Oh, I was talking and not sharing the screen. My fault.
Oh, it happens.
Yes, always
Oh,
happens.
there it is.
So here's the fujisawa.com, Cotton Dev BR. And now at 7, if you are here in Brazil, we have this live also going on. That is the JConf BR, JConf Brazil. We are gonna be running on August 3rd, and today these ladies, Jacqueline Oliveira, Camila Santos, and Fernanda Kipper, their references in the Java community and educators on the development field. They will be talking about what they will bring, the content they will bring on the JConf, and any other things that regarding to Java. So yeah, if you are here in Brazil, I would not lose this event because it is a free event, and we're gonna have a lot of swags also free given on in person. So if you are you can be in person, would be great. You're gonna have a lot of great things to take to home. So, and I think with that we do finish our session. Any last comment anyone would like to do? Oh, of course. Let me share the link for the live, right?
For the Gcom, you mean, right?
Yeah, I was
Yes.
trying to share it here, but I didn't find where to type.
There is
Oh yeah,
Java Girls Jug.
Java Girls Jag,
Yeah.
and
So if you're
yep,
watching us, as soon as it finishes, just jump to the Java Girls Live so you can
exactly,
follow up.
perfect. So Thiago, please end the session for us. say
No,
say say your
just say thanks again to Lucas and all the audience. And yeah, it's that. Let's go to the next session. That it's the Java Girls Jag.
perfect. So
Yeah.
thanks Lucas
Thank you.
again. Thanks
Thank you,
everyone that
Lucas.
watched us. See you, everyone. Bye bye.
See ya.